For older adults, every meal can become a crossroads, one path leading to greater vitality, the other, unwittingly, toward hidden health hazards. Nowhere is this more apparent than with seafood choices. While fish has long been celebrated for its heart-healthy omega-3s and lean protein, new research from Dr. Alan Merson, based on over 20,000 patient assessments, has illuminated a sobering truth. Not all fish are created equal, especially for seniors. In fact, there are 7 specific types of fish that Dr. Merson urges all older adults to avoid completely, not just occasionally, but entirely. These recommendations aren't merely about mercury, but stem from deeper, often overlooked risks tied to how aging bodies process toxins, inflammation, and environmental contaminants. The first fish on Dr. Merson's list may come as a shock: farmed tilapia. For decades, tilapia has been prized for its affordability and mild flavor, making it a staple in countless households and retirement communities. However, beneath its innocuous surface lies a nutritional imbalance particularly hazardous for seniors. Farmed tilapia is routinely fed a diet that results in extremely high levels of omega-6 fatty acids. While omega-6s are not inherently bad, the problem is one of proportion. Most Western diets already skew heavily toward omega-6, and in older adults, this imbalance can fuel chronic inflammation. For seniors struggling with arthritis, heart disease, or autoimmune disorders, regularly consuming tilapia is akin to adding fuel to a smoldering fire, potentially worsening joint pain, increasing cardiac risk, and undermining efforts to manage inflammation. Next on the list is swordfish, a species that exemplifies the dangers of bioaccumulation. As a large, long-lived predator, swordfish absorbs methylmercury from all the smaller fish it consumes, resulting in mercury levels that are 30 to 50 times higher than what health experts recommend. For most adults, low-level exposure might not have obvious effects, but for seniors, whose livers and kidneys process toxins more slowly and whose neurological systems are more vulnerable, the risks are profound. Consuming swordfish, even in modest portions, can impair cognitive function, disrupt muscle coordination, and accelerate neurological decline. Memory fog, persistent fatigue, and subtle tremors are just some of the reported effects in seniors who included swordfish in their diet. Another fish to avoid entirely is imported basa, also known as pangasius. Often found in the frozen food section under generic names, imported basa is frequently sourced from countries with lax environmental and food safety standards. These fish are commonly raised in polluted waters, exposing them to heavy metals, antibiotic residues, and bacteria like Vibrio, a microorganism that can cause severe gastrointestinal distress and even life-threatening infections in those with weakened immune systems. For seniors, whose immune surveillance is already less robust, the risk of kidney or liver damage from these hidden contaminants is simply too great. The invisible dangers lurking in a fillet of imported basa may not be apparent, but over time, they quietly erode organ function and resilience. Bluefin tuna, revered for its rich flavor and prized in sushi bars, is another fish Dr. Merson singles out as especially risky for older adults. Bluefin is not only high in mercury, but also contains significant levels of polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, industrial chemicals that, despite being banned for decades, persist in ocean ecosystems. Clinical trials led by Dr. Merson found that seniors who ate bluefin tuna regularly reported a 30% increase in incidence of memory fog and the muscle fatigue. These effects may seem subtle at first, but over the years, they can accumulate, undermining independence and quality of life. The fifth fish on the list is smoked fish, including popular choices like smoked salmon and smoked mackerel. The traditional smoking process, while imparting distinct flavors, also preserves the fish with large amounts of sodium and nitrates. For seniors, especially those managing high blood pressure, heart disease, or kidney issues, this can have dire consequences. Excess sodium can lead to fluid retention, making it harder for the heart to pump efficiently and increasing the risk of stroke. Nitrates, on the other hand, have been linked to subtle changes in heart rhythm and place an added burden on aging kidneys. The occasional indulgence might not seem dangerous, but for those with underlying vulnerabilities, smoked fish can quietly tip the scales towards serious health events. Then there is the threat of ciguatoxin-contaminated fish. Ciguatera poisoning occurs when people consume fish that have accumulated toxins from harmful algae in warm, tropical waters. While ciguatera can affect anyone, older adults are especially susceptible to its effects. Symptoms include severe nausea, vomiting, irregular heartbeat, and in some cases, long-term neurological issues such as tingling, numbness, and muscle weakness. Because ciguatoxins are odorless, tasteless, and heat-stable, cooking offers no protection. For seniors, a single exposure can set off a cascade of health challenges that linger for months or even years. Finally, perhaps the most deceptive on the list: canned albacore tuna, also known as white tuna. While it's a pantry staple, renowned for convenience and shelf life, canned albacore tuna contains significantly more mercury than its light tuna counterpart. Multiple geriatric studies have linked regular consumption to disruptions in brain signaling and increased oxidative stress, accelerating the cellular aging process. For older adults who already face challenges in maintaining mental sharpness and reducing inflammation, the risks outweigh the convenience. Dr. Merson's recommendations are not meant to instill fear, but rather to empower older adults and their families with actionable knowledge. His research, drawing on blood toxicity screenings, inflammation markers, and cognitive health data, paints a clear picture. Age amplifies the impact of dietary toxins and imbalances. The fish on this list are best avoided altogether, not just limited, because even small repeated exposures can quietly undermine the health and independence that seniors cherish. But there's good news too. Seniors don't have to forgo the benefits of seafood entirely. Dr. Merson encourages choosing safer, nutrient-rich alternatives such as wild-caught Alaskan salmon, which is low in contaminants and high in heart-healthy omega-3s. Sardines, which are small, fast-growing, and low in mercury, while offering a rich source of calcium. And Arctic char, another excellent low-toxin option. By making informed choices, older adults can continue to enjoy the pleasures and health benefits of fish without gambling with their well-being. In the end, the key is vigilance and awareness. The foods that nourished us in youth don't always serve us the same way in later years. By understanding the unique vulnerabilities of aging and making mindful choices at the seafood counter, seniors can protect their health, preserve their independence, and savor every bite with confidence.